Hello everyone, thank you for coming, and today we will discuss about teaching grammar for young learners. So we will learning about how to teach grammar for young learners, and then what strategies and then tips or tricks that we can use in the classroom. So before that, I want to introduce myself. I am Iman Setiareva from Universitas Kristen Indonesia, Jakarta. So before we move to teaching grammar for young learners, yeah, as we know in the previous materials, or last week, we have learned about young learners' characteristic. So according to Marie's law, she said that young learners are very curiosity and then motivated and very receptive to learn something and so on. Actually, there are many characteristics for young learners, but I just take it three of them. So young learners very curious curiosity. They have uh, high curiosity to learn something, and then very motivated and very receptive to learn something. Uh, Include when they learn English grammar. That's why uh, we are when we were as a child, we want to imitate it, the activities of yeah, adults who's here when you were a child, you want to be adults, right? You want to be mother roles, uh, and your friend will be father's roles, and so on. You just want to um, learn something or to imitate activities, adult activities, or adult behaviors, right? So that's why young learners very easy or very this the opportunity to teach English grammar or something else to young learners very good in young learners, or very good in stage of young learners. And we uh, we are as a teacher need to know about this. Uh, Need to know about this. Young learners have these characteristics. So even though they have this characteristic, but when it comes to English grammar, they probably not interested about that, right? Because uh, young learners very bored in difficult way how to teach English when it comes to English grammar. But it doesn't mean it is impossible to teach them in English grammar, because I will explain about how to teach English grammar for them, uh, to put English grammar behind of the material. So they just learn about that unconsciously. So according to Anne Maria Pinter, this is the basic of this material. The development of metalinguistic awareness is low in young children. Yeah, that's why their ability to think about language and then uh, grammatical structure, and then uh, as emerging grade in a system of language, very difficult to learn about that, and then very slow in their mind, because they probably not interested about that, because they are just a young person. They don't think about that. They just listen, imitate it, and practice, and uh, actually they want to be adults, right? So they want to imitate uh, what they have learned, what they have listened, what they have um, know about uh, their environment. So therefore, it is crucial to keep in the mind the 6 or 7 years old children are not only in difficulties to understanding grammatical categories, but um, all of the system of a language very slow in young children. That's why we are as a teacher, we need to find out a new way how to teach them. We need to find out a different way how to teach English grammar for them. All right. So continue from Pinter. He said that young learners actually need something a different way. So young learners need an abstract ideas. That's why when we address some materials, we need to address to them with an abstract ideas. So they can think, they can think about that, and then their high curiosity very more than over most high over and over again, because they have actually that they have curiosity, but we are as a teacher need to erase the curiosity, so they can think by their own ability, by their own by their own ability. And then with metaphor, this is from Pinter explained it. That's why this is very helpful to young learners. And then this argument is actually providing from Pinter. He said that providing children metaphors will helpful for them. And then word puns, word puns is actually will help young learners how to learn English grammar, because this will imitate it in their mind, so they can just learn about English grammar. But three of these needed of the young learners, this is actually an explicit grammatical concept. So later on, I will explain about explicit and implicit concept. What the different, and then what the similarities. But the three of these concept need to a good environment, and then a different environment. So young learners, they are not bored, and then they interested to learn the grammatical concept. And then we need as a teacher need to address some materials with the daily routines, because they just know about that. They cannot learn about something else without their daily routines. For example, when they wake up, and then when they brush teeth, when they go to the bathroom, and then whatever it is, and so on in the daily routines. So before we move to a strategy to teach them in the green English, to teach English grammar for them, we need to know about what grammars they actually, and then what's kind of grammar and how to teach them. And according to Lynn Cameron 21, grammar is necessary to express precise meanings in discourse. We cannot teach them grammar without the meanings. So we are as a teacher need to express this grammar with the meaning in the discourse. And then when we teach them grammar, it's actually we just teach them vocabulary, because grammar is closely connected with vocabulary in learning and using the foreign language. And then learning grammar can evolve from the learning of chunk of a language. This is one of the strategy. And then talking about something meaningful with the child can be useful way of introducing new grammar. Yeah, when we're talking about something meaningful, we just actually use introduce new grammar. And then grammar can be taught without technical labels. Yeah, for example, like auxiliary verbs, intensifying adverb. Actually, uh, we can teach them without this, right? Without this, and because um, English grammar, it's not only talking about that, talking about the technical levels, or we just so learn about adverb, auxiliary verb, etc. and etc. So it's not only about that. We have a myriad way or myriad grammar. Yeah. So we come to method to the communicative approach. Method to the communicative approach. So we are as a teacher, uh, we can use the communicative approach. Yeah, because as we know, young learners is a listeners. So communicative approach is the best way. So when we come to the classroom, we need to use this method, is that communicative approach. And communicative approach divided into two, is that explicit and then implicit. So what is actually explicit? So an explicit form is when the teacher explain the students all grammars, all grammar rules, and then provide students with a form and the meaning of grammar items, and then explains the usage, the detail, and make conventional grammatical rule clear. So, for example, we just teach them a simple present tense. So the explicit method used here, the teacher teach or explain all grammar rules, and then all grammar's item, and then all the rules of the grammatical, but with creative method. Yeah, we just teach them. We put some material behind of the. We just teach the English grammar with. We put the English grammar behind of the material. Yeah, and then implicit. Implicit grammar teaching, yeah, means that students are allowed plenty of the opportunities to hear and read and use correct form of the grammar items. So implicit means that teaching students, students are allowed to learn with their abilities, or teacher give a time to a students to learn something with reading and then listening and then whatever it is, but with their own abilities, um, with their own creativity. Yeah, this is actually means by TPR, or total physical response. So I will explain about total physical response. Yeah, this is the materials of total physical response from YouTube. Yeah, you can click this link to find out this total physical response. Yeah, what I have found from this video, so actually total physical response developed by a professor called James Asha, right? So Professor James Asha explained that total physical response, it's talking about language and physical movement. Yeah, we just need physical movement, and then we just also need a language. Right. For example, when we are as a teacher, we need to teach them with language and physical movement. For example, like I like apple. No. That's the second that I have. I just forgot about that. So um, when we are as a teacher, we need to teach them in a language and physical movement. Yeah. For example, we just uh, we just address the material like flying. Okay, flying. So they just imitate the word. For example, they just practice the word flying. So I'm sorry, my body uh, cannot see in the camera. Okay, like this, flying and then running. So they just they need to practice the word, and then they just practice if the grammar. They just practice the grammar with their physical movement. So I believe with this uh, with this environment, this is very helpful for them to remember. And then to the physical response need to add some sounds so they can remember a long time. For example, you want to um, like I like apple. I like apple. That's actually the trick of this video. And then if you want to uh, make your students remember your name, yeah, you just make a sounds for your body like uh, my my teacher is Mr. Iman, for example. My teacher is Mr. Iman, like that. So you just make your sound, the sounds, add the sounds. So they just uh, they can remember the word or your name or something else or the grammar with uh, in a long time, because yeah, you know, young learners very receptive to learn something, right? So that's actually what uh, total physical response or TPR. Yeah. Okay, we move to teaching grammar to young learners should, or what actually should we are as a teacher. We need to provide them with control and practice. So, mm, so young learners listen, speak, and then practice. We need to provide three of these uh, method, and then control by practicing in the classroom. And then we need to teaching grammar to young learners should be in the creative language use. Okay, we need to, we are as a teacher, we need to creative to teach them, then to um, how to make the young learners interested in our materials, in our classroom. And then grammar items need to be presented in interesting contexts. Yeah, that's why I told you, if you want to address some English grammar, you need to put behind of the materials. So actually you just talk or you just teach them English grammar, but your children or the young learners or your students is actually unconsciously, they are just probably learn about English grammar. That's why we need to present it in an interesting context. So they they unconsciously learn about English grammar, but actually they just learn about that. That's why we need to put behind of the context. right? Grammar structure and items need to be hidden in games, yeah, playful activities, simple reading and listening activities, as well as simple communication activities. And visual support is also important. Therefore, the teacher should use flashcard, colored cards, or even poster to present grammar items. So this is probably can be used later on in the classrooms, like flashcard, yeah, like some playful activities or games. Yeah, this is the most frequent activities for practicing grammar. If you want to use this, yeah, you can use this mechanical drills, ordering dialogues, multiple choice questions, reordering sentences or words, grammar quiz, or something else, so on and so on. You can use these. So the conclusion of this presentation is that teachers should encourage their young, or their in this case is that young learners curiosity and raise their motivation, not by force, because you know young learners have a good characteristic. Don't kill that, but you need to raise, or you need to encourage that over and over again. So their motivation to learn, or they will learn about English grammar in a motivated or in an interesting way. But we need to remember again, not by force, not by our own way, or by our difficulties way, but you need to adapt to the children or to the young learners. Yeah, that's for me. Thank you very much. And if you have question, you can email you can send to my email, imansuti@gmail.com. So thank you for watching and see you.